All right, welcome back to Redskins Relaunch. I'm your host, Winston Hilton. Again, thank you very much for joining us. All of your comments and questions on Facebook. You can reach me at Twitter right there, Sports Talk NC8. Talk to me. You know, I will definitely send you a reply back. I might send you some kind of crazy GIF. I don't know, maybe something from Parks and Rec, Ron Swansonism. You never know. I just want to punch you in the face. I might give you one of those. I don't know. Holler at me. We'll wrap and chat. All right. Wanted to get to some other sports before we finish up with our Redskins tonight. You know, again, we talked about the Capitals in the first segment. You know, we were here watching the game. Kuzi scores. I say, you know, that might be a great goal in Capitals history. And then I decided to go home. Bad move. All of a sudden, by the time I got home, the game was tied, and I'm sitting there like, wait, what? My mind was blown. What just happened? And then, you know, with that flurry at the end of at the end of regulation, you're like, the Caps should have scored on that 2-on-1 breakaway. Then you had Verona hitting the post, and then all of a sudden you get to overtime, and you're like, oh no, not this again. Now, mind you, after last season and the Caps, you know, exercising their demons against the Penguins, and as well as playing a Game 7 against the Tampa Bay Lightning and coming out victorious on their way to the Stanley Cup, you figure, you know what, maybe these guys have the mental fortitude in order to come through in this situation. But, man, you know, Carolina just literally just took the game to them. You've heard that time and time again. It's been a week for you to, you know, analyze and decompress and, you know, become undepressed about the situation. And now you can fully analyze it and just say, you know what, the Caps just did not play like they wanted it in the overtime and the double overtime. They were playing so well for those first two periods. You know, you saw them come out to that 2-goal lead, and you were like, okay, well, this is going to be a great game. But that shorthanded goal, that should have never happened. Sebastian Aho, I mean, shot, Holby blocked, rebound, came right back to Aho, and he scores. That never should have happened. Sometimes the Caps this season got a little lazy. They reverted back to that the old Caps where, you know, they were lazy with the puck sometimes. Couldn't get it out of their own zone. You saw that in Game 6, and you saw that again in Game 7, where you just could not get the puck out of your own zone. The defense, the other team they were guessing all of your moves, and they were guessing right. Whereas last year, you didn't see that. You saw a Caps team that was composed, that was calm, that just had that. They had a dog about them. You know, they had that inner fight. Not saying that they didn't have a fight this year. I just, you know, as a lot of analysts have already said, they were tired. They were tired. That's an excuse. You're not just tired. You either want it or you don't. Whether you're tired or not, you come up with that extra little bit of strength, and you come through. Unfortunately, that did not happen this year, and we get to put away our. No. You don't get to put them away. You keep wearing them until the Stanley Cup is raised by somebody else. You're still Stanley Cup champions, okay, Caps fans? All of you. You get to do that for another, I guess, a month or so. Get it in while you can, because after that point, you know, you're like, You'll always have the banner. Banner's always going to be in Cap 1, Cap 2, whatever they want to call the arena in about another 10, 15 years until they do something else. But Caps fans, enjoy it while it lasts. Enjoy it while it lasts. All right. Also, you know, you got to figure out for the Caps who comes back. Backstrom's deal is up after next year. Holtby's deal is up, I believe, after next year. Oshie has an option, so you got to figure, okay, wait, that could have been the end, maybe. You know, Orpik might not be coming back. He's 9,000 years old, which is, you know, hockey, you can do that. DSP, you know, you shipped him to Hershey this year. Why would he want to come back and possibly get shipped off again? Now, mind you, he started the year kind of, you know, in not the best of shape. Regardless, will he come back to that? I mean, the core is still going to be there. You're still going to have Ovi, Backstrom, Oshie, Tom Wilson. Carlson is there for quite some time. So you're going to have that core still there, but then window's closing very quickly. And you're going to need some young stars. You're going to need Verona to step up. You're going to need Siegenthaler. You're going to need some of these guys to step up and take, a couple of other guys' place. You're going to need Kuzi to actually play like he did in the playoffs last season. You're going to need that Kuzi, not the Kuzi that showed up in the last month of the season this year. You're going to need a Kuzi from 2018. Just saying. All right, let's switch gears and talk about the Nationals. The bullpen. Wow, 16 scoreless innings over the past, 3 games. Who knew? I trashed the bullpen last week, but they've showed improve. So you figure they're winning, right? Nope. Can't hit the ball. Ugh. A lot of injuries, yes. Anthony Rendon on the IL, not the DL anymore, the IL. Zimmerman on the IL. Trey Turner still not back. Juan Soto got scratched from the game tonight. It's I don't know what's in the water in DC. Again, we're going back to something in the water. Title of this show is called Something in the Water. Whether it be in Virginia Beach, Derek going down there enjoying himself, which again we're going to get to in literally a couple of seconds. To up here where you literally can't stay healthy. You can't stay healthy. Don't drink any of the water here. Don't even drink the bottled water. Go out to Fiji and get some of that stuff over there. But regardless, the bats cannot wake up. Here's a statistic to watch for when you're watching the Nationals. Runners left on base. The Nationals continually leave at least 4 to 7 people on base per game. That's not going to win baseball games, especially when they're in scoring position. You have got to knock runners in. Sure, you can hit the long ball all day long, but you got to be able to knock those runners in. The Cardinals, that's all the Cardinals have been doing in order to win this game, win this series thus far, is to knock players in, runners in with scoring position. That's all they've been doing. It's all they've been doing. Nationals have to get timely hitting. I think I've said that from the playoffs, the last playoff appearance against when Dusty Baker was the manager. I said timely hitting. That's why they lost. And that's why they're losing now. Timely hitting and not being able to get out of situations pitching. All right. Also, the NBA playoffs. Derek, you watching?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the Rockets have been so close beating the Warriors. I mean, you saw the picture of James Harden's eyeballs.
Yes.
Got raked.
It looked like he had, he was suffering an allergy attack, but it was just, He was allergic to Draymond Green. He was allergic to Draymond and Draymond's fingers all up in his eye. I mean, did they at least call a foul? Because I did not watch the game. I was asleep.
Call a foul. No, he just went down to the ground and they played through. But it was funny at the end of the game. In Draymond's press conference, he was saying how it's embarrassing about how many players are kind of like whining to the refs and everything like that. And people called him a little bit of a hypocrite, to say the least. I
mean, look, he's not whining like LeBron. We know how LeBron can, go down his soapbox, which is, it's LeBron.
Right.
But, bruh, you just you literally scratched his eye like Freddy Krueger. Like, come on, bro. I mean, that's now if they don't call it, just sort of like the cornerback from the Rams. Like, I mean, it was a foul, but they ain't call it, so we go into the Super Bowl.
Right. It's
sort of like that situation. Now you know why the Rockets were complaining in Game 1 about the officiating. Now, mind you, I don't. From what I've read, there weren't as many egregious calls in Game 2. But when you see a guy raked across the face, no foul called, you're like, dude, we have to play against these 5 guys and 3 others, the referees. It's 5 against 8, not fair at all.
I will say though, like, I'm not a fan of like the kicking legs out when they're taking a 3-point shot. Like it's not natural. Like. Scott Van Pelt and a lot of other people obviously like said how they've showed how unnatural it is and how they're looking for a call, and it is a little bit too much.
Yeah, I mean, there are theatrics.
Right.
That's sportsmanship. Whether it's don't get me started. I mean, you want to see some flopping? Go to soccer.
Exactly.
Go to soccer. Maybe that's where Harden learned a little bit of his skills. I mean. I did a story a long time ago when the World Cup was here and how players continually flopped and how, some went through acting school and things like that. I mean, sometimes you got to do those things in order to become a great player. So all I'm saying, James Harden, yeah, go ahead and do that thing, man. Do that thing. All right. Derek, please go back. I need to hear more about this Something in the Water Festival, man, because that thing is, God bless America.
It was honestly like incredible. It was Friday night, kind of got washed out by the weather, unfortunately.
Yeah, heard about that.
So we missed a lot of good performers there. Like Pharrell's first set was going to be Friday night, so we missed out on Lil Uzi, Dave Matthews Band, and a lot of other great performers, unfortunately.
Lil Uzi?
What's that face for?
I mean, how do you get invited?
People came just for him for Friday. Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
To each his own. I mean, I would have been there Saturday, cooling, but that's just me.
Saturday night was the night to be there. Obviously, you had Jay-Z come out. You had Timbaland show. You had Snoop Dogg. You had Usher. You had Missy Elliott. You had everybody that is like he ever worked with. It seemed like, and it was just incredible. It was nostalgic. They even referenced the Greek Fest a good amount, which I wasn't very aware of, but I heard they burns it to the ground.
I have a couple of friends that were involved in the planning for those earlier days festivals in Virginia Beach, and from what I always heard is that it was absolute bananas. It was literally the prelude to Freaknik and a whole sort of other festivals, but sometimes when you're young, you don't necessarily act accordingly, and things got shut down. It's basically like if there was a great documentary on HBO about spring break and MTV and that marriage that they had, and how towns basically were up in arms and proposing legislation in order to get MTV and all these youngsters out of their town, which they eventually did. When's the last time you've seen MTV Spring Break on? I haven't seen it in about 10, 15 years. That they were, the towns won in those cases, not necessarily lawsuits or anything like that, but they kind of forced those promoters and MTV and places like that out of their town. So now that you have Spring Break, it's more or less on a smaller scale than it was 20, 30 years ago. But they always said that those parties back down in Virginia Beach, Buckrow Beach, were off the chain. Off the chain. You could say that off the chain. They were fantastic. So, I wish I could have been there, but from what everybody has told me, and I have a lot of friends that went, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it was a success to say the least. I mean, business was booming down there. Nobody that I know of really got hurt. I mean, they had medical people there doing their job, and it was incredible, man. Just really incredible. Two beautiful days, and one thing they said that 70,000 people came down for the festival, right? And the venue's right on the beach, right? As you probably saw pictures of.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's beautiful. And I'm interested. I think they have like a 3-year contract with the city.
Yeah.
So next 2 years they're gonna do the same thing. But I'm interested to see if they have another stage of performances, so you can kind of like bounce around and not just have one stage. Because they had like a pop-up service church on Sunday with another stage.
Heard about that.
Right.
I heard about that. Who performed on Sunday? There were some big names that performed on Sunday too. I mean, if you're a music lover and just a culture lover, you were down there and you were enjoying life in Virginia Beach. And unfortunately, I wasn't there, but that's fine. Maybe another time I'll be able to make it down there. I've spent many a time in Virginia Beach. Almost, if you go down there speaking the wrong language, as in like if you're cursing, guess what? You could get locked up. And that, I've seen that happen to people. Not saying whether or not that's me or not, but I've seen it happen. All right, so let's dip back into the Redskins. News today that the Redskins were declining to pick up the option on Josh Doxson, so meaning that this will be the last year that he will be a Redskin unless he tears it up somehow and the team decides to re-sign him, which will be at a heftier price than if they had picked up the option. But what are the chances of that happening? I say that now. It's on tape now. He's going to blow up spot. He's going to do well this year, more than likely. All right, a couple of people checking in. Again, Harry Smith Jr., thank you very much for sticking with us. Again, we've had some technical difficulties, but we appreciate your patience with us. All right, So he has a couple of thoughts on the injury bug here. The reason why the Redskins are having injury problems, it's because they're not conditioning themselves for an entire season or the playoffs. These players are comfortable with just being an addition for 7 weeks that's going to be in condition for the whole entire season. I mean, if you're trying to get your money, I would want to get all my money and be in the playoffs and be in Super Bowl and win it so I can get that bonus. Bruh, you have never preach. That's right, Harry. Thank you very much. You're absolutely right. What's the point of playing if you're not a champion? Sure, you can make that money, but imagine how much more money you can make when you're a Super Bowl champion. When's the last time you seen a broke Super Bowl champion? I take that back because we've seen people selling rings and things like that. Again, when have you seen a current broke NFL champion? Just saying. DJ Bland. What's up, man? How you doing? Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. Here we go again, Mr. Harry Smith, talking about Josh Doxson. He was a project. I think he was a project when he first came here, able to progress and grow out of the swamp. And don't say he did well in practice. Practice is there for a reason, so you don't make mistakes in an actual game. And he made mistakes during the game. There's no doubt about that. You know, you could always say the ceiling is the limit for Doxson, but you know, when are you going to reach that ceiling? It might not be in the burgundy and gold, and that's okay. Harry Smith also on the rookie he's excited to see. He says Jordan Brailford and Montez Sweat. So I'm imagining that Harry's a defensive guy, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. The strongest unit that's on his team is the defense. So you're going to want to see the defense do well, which means that you're stopping people from scoring points, which means that your offense could score points. And if you score more points than another team, guess what happens? That's a W. That's a W. We need more of that to happen here. And based on this draft, you would like, it could be coming sooner than you think. We'll see. With that said, let's go over some of the, I wanted to highlight some of the undrafted free agents that the Redskins picked up this week. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. Ryan B. from Marshall, a defensive end, 6'7". B.J. Blunt, linebacker from McNeese State. Juwan Bushell Beatty, a tackle, 6'6". Whoo, that's a big boy. Elkanah Dillon, tight end from Oregon. JoJo McIntosh, a safety. Chidi Okiki. There's Kiki. Kiki, do you love me? Tackle from Tennessee, 6'6", 315. That's a big boy again. T.J. Rahming out of Duke, a wide receiver, 5'10", 170. So he's not necessarily a big boy, but you know, played at Duke, played with Daniel Jones. So we'll see exactly what happens there. And Steven Sims Jr. out of Kansas. I don't know who was throwing to him, but hopefully he's very, very fast. He has to be fast in order to get picked up by an NFL team. Those are your undrafted free agents. Hopefully, there are going to be a couple of those that end up making the team, sort a la Cam Sims. We still have not seen Cam Sims, who is now healthy. Also, you have healthy, which is Trey Quinn. He's healthy. So we'll see. That wide receiver room is going to be a whole heck of a lot different than it was last year. Let's get back to more of the draft. I am excited. I gave the Redskins an A. There's no doubt about it. They did well in this draft. They picked up guys that they needed to get. The only position that they did not pick up was safety, but you figured that Troy Apke's coming back from injury. Hopefully he has a monumental step as far as his progression to the NFL game. You know, Monte Nicholson, we don't know exactly what's happening with him. He has a court date coming up on the 14th. So it still remains to be seen whether or not, if he, you know, passes that test, he could be active and able to continue to practice. So all in all, they still have, you know, the pieces there, but you know, you get Haskins without having to trade up. You got Montez Sweat, probably the better athlete in the draft other than, you know, DK Metcalf. So you got to give him an A. The rest of now, mind you, everything rests on Haskins and Sweat. If they do well, great. It's an A+++. If they do poorly, It could be a whole draft class failure. Now, if Sweat and Haskins do poorly and the rest of the draft class does well, like McLaurin, Love, Harmon, the two linemen, and Holcomb and Jimmy Moreland. I forgot to mention Jimmy Moreland, cornerback from JMU. I've got tape on him. He's a stud. Yep. He's a stud. Derek, you played football with him.
Yeah, I was there filming for the football team, and he, as a true freshman, he was coming in, starting pick sixes. Like he's the real deal, a speedster. He's maybe a little undersized, so he might be like a kind of a nickel cornerback. We'll see.
You would imagine, so.
But he's a speedster, and he knows how to jump a route and everything.
I think that's what we're looking for. Maybe he can return punts and kicks.
Maybe, yeah.
I would like to see that. If you're a speedster, if you're a true speedster, I'd like to see that. Would love to see that. All right. With that said, thank you very much for everybody watching. DJ Bland checking in late here. It says Kelvin Harmon is a guy I'm excited to see. The guy is severely underrated. I totally agree with you. I think all the Redskins picked on after that third round, after the McLaurin pick, I think those guys are going to – that's where you're going to see your meat and bones from this draft. Those are the guys that if they do well, no matter if Haskins or Sweat grades poorly, I think those are the guys that are going to show improve. Again, be patient with Bryce Love. McLaurin should be good. He might even play this year. He might even get I would probably say the first rookie to start a game in this draft class is probably going to be McLaurin. And you'd like to see that. Block, catch, speed. You want to see that. All right, with that said, Derek, thank you very much. Thank you everybody for watching. DJ Bland, Harry Smith, thank you very much for watching. You can catch each and every episode of Redskins Relaunch on DMVSTREAM.COM. Get at us on Facebook. Leave your comments and suggestions there. We will try to get to them as soon as we can. You can get at me at Sports Talk NC8 on Twitter. I will reply to your every single comment or suggestion. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. More than likely I will. I'll probably have a smarty snooty gift for you or a meme. Is that what the old people call them? Meme? A meme. I'm gonna give you a meme. Not a nene, but a meme. All right. We're signing out for now. We'll see you again here next week. Hey, look, rookie minicamp starts next week. So we'll get our late next week, so we won't have it next week on the show, but we'll preview it on the show next week. We'll get your first taste of Haskins, Sweat, and all the guys from this latest Redskins draft class. That said, I'm Winston Hilton. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you here next week on Redskins Relaunch. I'm out.
This content is brought to you by Dental Associates. For more than 39 years, Dr. Stephen Price has been practicing dentistry in Northern Virginia. A member of the American Dental Association, the Northern Virginia Dental Society, and the Virginia Dental Society, Price is considered an expert in Invisalign and continues to be an award-winning innovator in the industry.